Morning, and welcome to JVceo. Right, so the pandemic came, the pandemic went. Well, not really. I mean, we're out of lockdown, but people realized, people got laid off their jobs. People are struggling, essentially speaking, and people are actually looking right into the future. I don't think I've spoken to many people that have been planning ahead as much as they are now previously. Before, everyone was happy to just tick along. So now you're thinking, right, okay, my employment could be unstable. What can I do to supplement my income, right? How can I make some money on the side? Potentially, these things I'm about to give you may eventually turn into a full-time income for you. And some of these I've done myself, if not all of them. Actually, I think I've done all but one of these myself. And I think it's a great way to earn additional income, a lot of money on the side. And I'll take you through it. If you do like what you're seeing, if you enjoy the video, then pause it at some point, hit the subscribe button and drop a comment and give me some more video suggestions. So first one being property sourcing. Property sourcing is great, honestly. Property sourcing is a well-paid profession if you know what you're doing. What is property sourcing? Property sourcing is a process whereby you find properties and you find buyers for that property, and you're essentially speaking able to effectively be the middleman between the vendor and the buyer. You close the deal, you take your percentage or your payment, and then you let the buyer close the deal with the vendor and their solicitors and so on and so forth. That's property sourcing. How much can you earn from property sourcing? It varies. As a rule of thumb, 2 to 3% of the property value, or around 2,500 to about 6,000. Me personally, I charge from around 4,000 to 6,000, and my service is extremely thorough. But with that being said, if you are getting into the business, you probably want to stay on the low end. Right. So what's the barrier to entry? The barrier to entry is the legal side of things. So, for example, you need some sort of an insurance. You need to be registered with the property ombudsman, and so on and so forth. There's a list of a few things. If you need more information on that, just drop me an email. Email is in the description section. So there's some legal stuff that you need to get your head around, but it's only going to cost you all in all about £1,000, maybe 1,200 to register with all these bodies, right? But once you're able to do that, then legally you can start sourcing properties. That's the first barrier to entry. Alternatively, you can work under the umbrella of another company. So an example being, imagine I don't have no legal qualifications myself or any legal protection to even start the business. I can find a company that property sources. I can source the properties myself, and I could literally close it through the company, if that makes any sense. So that's another way of doing it. But in that case, the company will probably take quite a chunk of your profit. The other barrier to entry for me, which is what people ask me all the time, bro, how can I get into property sourcing, is being able to identify and have a very strong network of buyers. It's not easy. And even, people think, oh, finding a property is easy. Not necessarily, because you don't want to find properties that every other person can find. You want to find properties that are special. You want to find properties that are below the market value. You probably even want to find properties that are not even on the market in the first place. So that also is a challenge. But more importantly, having a network of clients to sell the property to, it's a bigger challenge. What's the point of having all these great properties if you can't offset it? But anyways, that property sourcing will make you around £3,000 plus on a monthly basis. Number 2 will be penny stocks. Got to be careful with penny stocks. Penny stocks is one of those things where you can either get real rich from it or you could go real broke from it. So what are penny stocks? Penny stocks are trading on the financial market, small cap companies. So I'm not talking about Tesla with billions of money behind them. I'm saying things like, let's say, pharmaceutical companies with a very small cap. It might be a market cap of 100 million, a market cap of 50 million. What does that mean, though? That means that it's extremely volatile. It can go up 70% in one day, or even 100% in one day. But at the same time, it can go down 100% in one day. So That's the disadvantages, but also the advantage of penny stocks. But with that being said, you could literally invest 3,000 into penny stocks. If you do the right research and the right due diligence, you could probably end up making upwards of maybe £4,000 in profit, over a 2-week period, over a 3-week period. And you could ride a market as well, depending on whether you day trade or whether you're investing as in buying a stock and just holding it. But penny stocks, honestly, if you find a sweet spot, you would have some serious runners. You'd have some 200% runners, 300% runners over maybe a 2-month period. So that's something for you guys to look into, penny stocks. Number 3, managing social media account. So again, this is another sort of advantage that the pandemic has put into play. A lot of these companies now that run, a local business are starting to realize the importance of being online. And even those that are online, are in the sense of having a website, they're realizing the importance and the influence that social media has. There are billions of people on social media across Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth, right? We're not all great. We're not all created equal, even though we'd like to believe that. Some people have their fortes. So an example being myself. I don't run my social media business pages. Some of them I do, but some of them I don't, because it's just, for me, I'd rather delegate that to someone else and have them running it, because then it frees up my time for me to, use that time into different areas, maybe sourcing properties, for example, but I could pay someone else a small fee or whatever the case is, depending on your business anyways. So definitely social media management is one of the ways that you could literally earn £3,000 plus a month. You're thinking, how much can I charge a company? I would say have different packages in the sense of, let's say, a platinum, a gold, and let's say a silver or bronze package, whatever you want to call it, right? And different packages would have sort of different services that you offer in it. But as a rule of thumb, you could probably charge a lot of these companies around £250 a month to run their social media. And I'm not saying anything marketing related, literally updating posts, driving engagement on their Instagram pages, on their Facebook pages. It's a business. It's a business. £250. If you had 10 clients, that's £2,500 a month. So it's big business, but people generally overlook it. But I promise you now, with the pandemic, it couldn't be a better time to start social media management, and that's a fact, right? And now on to point number 4, that will be resale, right? This is something I've done and I still do, but I do not focus on it as much. What is resale, right? Let me ask you a question. What do you think happens when you buy a product, maybe a washing machine, a dryer, a kettle, whatever it is, an appliance of some sort? What do you think happens when you buy that, even games, PS4s, PS5s, and it's faulty? What do you think happens? I'll tell you what happens. You return it to the business do not sell it anymore. Mobile phones even, they do not sell it. They can either use it as an insurance replacement in future for other customers, or they sell it to other businesses or small individuals at a cutthroat price, and that could be maybe at 10% of the real value, at 20% of the real value. What these companies then do is they take these products, they test it, they see what the fault is, they fix it, and they flip it. They then bring it back into the market and they sell it at maybe 60% of the original value. That means making anywhere from 40 to 50% in profit, in terms of profit off the original value. But it's huge. Alternatively, you can flip it and you could send it back home, bearing in mind that it's so cheap, and you would make a lot of profits back home as well, and to acquire these products are not super expensive because, like I said, they're already massively discounted from what the retail value is. But you can flip these on eBay, you can flip these on, maybe not Amazon, because I think Amazon has a law around that and they try and encourage healthy competition. And with allowing you to sell on Amazon, they're not encouraging healthy competition, because you could, essentially speaking, smash every other business out there. But you could definitely sell on eBay, you could sell on Gumtree and all these other third-party sort of websites. So that's a great way of making additional income. And honestly, doing this business, I've definitely made, during the times that I focused on it, definitely made over £3,000 a month. And now on to the last one. This is something that I haven't done myself, but I see a gap in the market. If you know how to code, right? If you know how to code, you should be offering web building services. And the reason I say that is it's a massive opportunity. A lot of people are starting to realize that their websites ain't even optimized enough. COVID has put in, I'm telling you, COVID, has been quite beneficial from a business standpoint. Unfortunately, obviously, a lot of people have lost their lives, and rest in peace to those souls. But from a business standpoint, it has presented a lot of opportunities for people that are very business savvy. So if you know how to code and you're able to put that service together and offer it to people, they would go for it. You've got to remember, yes, you could build websites on Wix. Yes, you could build websites on GoDaddy, but it's not so straightforward. There's always a market, or there's always a group of people that don't want to do things that way. They would rather assign it all over to someone else and have that person do it. That's number one. Number two, if you build through the templates offered by Wix and GoDaddy, your website is very straightforward, it's very bog standard, and can be quite boring. Depending on what service or products you're offering, if you want to add some dynamic to your website, you probably want to outsource that to an actual web builder so that they can include certain things that are very peculiar to your website. So if you know how to source, put it together, you can charge upwards of £350 per client, if not £500 plus. So now imagine having 5 clients a month, imagine having 10 clients a month. It's a lot of money. So that's that in terms of side hustles that can make you £3,000 plus. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you're subscribed. Like and share, and drop some comments in the comment section, and drop me a message or a DM, an email, if you have any questions with regards to any of the things that I mentioned in this video. See you next Sunday at 6 p.m.